interesting. I've heard from a lot of people that get into politics, it's almost like a calling, right? You know, you're involved in the local community to some degree, doing some sort of outreach. People say, hey, we need better representation. And that sounds like that was the case for you. So what were you doing leading up to even running for mayor of Braselton? As far as I understand it, you still run a law practice, and is that what you're doing prior to becoming mayor? And again, maybe to some degree you're still practicing, or I don't, again, know how that works. And I think there's a lot of people out, hey, do you still, do your full-time job as well as, run a city, or how does that work?
Man, those are great questions. And this is kind of conversations I have with a lot of younger people in our community when they talk to me about running for office or carrying leadership, right? The most important thing that I begin with when I talk to people is you've got to get your own house in order before you go tell other people how to get their house in order. So what I would encourage people that are interested in politics to do to begin with is learn to build margin in your life to give back. Yep. For me personally, I was a member of a church and I gave back to my church quite a bit. And then I found a community need when I lived in Buckhead, and I gave back to that. It was a little organization called Tri-Kids. We moved Tri-Kids to a location up here in the Braselton area whenever I moved up here. But I also went to the local high school. I gave back as a lawyer, teaching kids how to become lawyers in the future. So again, this is one of those things that when you want to consider public office, again, get your house in order so you've got enough time to volunteer somewhere else. Yep. And then see if you do well and you carry some leadership roles in those volunteer opportunities. And then if the need matches what your vision is for the future, then likely local politics is an area for you to look at. But let me assure you, do not get involved in local politics for the money.
Right.
This is a volunteer gig, right?
Yep.
I make $1,000 a month, and I really don't even take a check. I just go ahead and prepay my taxes with this. Right. So yes, I'm still a full-time lawyer. I still have to support a family, and I love my kids and my wife, and it's great. But local politics, this is a volunteer level position.
Right, sure. Labor of love, right?
Labor of love, yeah.
Now, so you talked about moving to Braselton. So what was that timeline like? So did you see, hey, there's an opportunity up here to go build a better life with my family, kind of getting out of, I don't want to say there's no hustle and bustle, here relative to in the perimeter, part of Atlanta, especially the Midtown area. But what was that process like, and what was, I guess, the reasoning for you wanting to move up to Braselton in the first place?
Yeah, sure. So in our situation, and I'd love to hear Larry's story of what brought you to Braselton as well, if we can.
Yeah.
So in our situation, I was a Atlanta-based kid. I actually went to Lithonia High School over near the Stone Mountain area. And then I went off to Texas to go to college. And then when I came back for grad school, I lived in Atlanta, went to Georgia State Law School, and kind of became a Buckhead lawyer. Met my wife in Buckhead. We ran around and went to concerts at Chastain and all that kind of stuff. And at that time, I was volunteering at Dunwoody High School as a mock trial coach. I had originally volunteered at Padea and then moved over to Dunwoody because I was a public school kid and had a heart for public school kids and wanted to help them achieve their dreams. But when we looked at some opportunities of where to raise a family, and we looked at where my family had already moved, my brother had a dental practice up here, my father and my mother lived up here, we just saw the greatness of this community and the great opportunities of this community. We saw great education, we saw great medical care, we saw great opportunities for business, and that was the draw, and that remains the draw even still today.